afternoon on this 22nd day of February 2024. It's just in time for our tech show. This is where we discuss matters technology. And today we have a special topic with a special guest. It's about ICT. And if you have a question or if you're watching us from home, please go on our social media platforms at Nibs TV on Facebook, Nibs TV on X, and of course Nibs TV on Instagram. Our SMS line is 22422. Ask any question or just place your comment if you're watching us from home. This show happens every Thursday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. every week. Welcome. And Mr. Alan, karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
And before we dive deeper into what IT encompasses, I want you to introduce yourself to our audience back at home. Tell them your name and of course what you do.
So my name is Alan Kauma. I'm the IT manager for Nibs College, the IT manager for Lizzie Preparatory School, and the IT manager for Swiss Berlin, formerly Emily Hotel. So what I do is basically system administration and ensuring that your data is safe, wherever it is.
Okay. For some of us, IT seems very complicated. Actually, in our normal circumstances, you think IT is reserved for those who are number one in schools. So can you give us a brief overview of what IT entails?
What I can say is that when it comes to IT, it's like climbing the mountain from the top bottom. IT was a very difficult subject about 20 years ago because programming was very complex, what have you. But as technology advances, you find that it gets easier. So you find that the number of lines of code that you were to type down to build a simple program in, let's say, 1995, is not the same number of lines of code you will write in 2024. So as for the users who think that IT is complex and all I can say is that right now IT is a very simple subject and all have to know IT because IT is the future.
Alright, you mentioned that IT is about programming, coding, and coding, things about coding. For a common mwananchi, we don't understand what programming is and what coding is. So what is programming and what is coding?
So programming and coding, you find that you have in this world we have to automate processes like admissions in this for example at Nibs College have admissions, Lizzie Preparatory have something like education, maybe digitizing the education classroom, maybe at the hotel we have something like serving customers. So you find that IT basically is just coming to make a particular process more convenient and to get rid of the manual work. So you find that where there are paper, we are trying to get rid of. So if you give, let's say, a customer at a hotel a bill, then instead of giving them the bill, why don't they just like get it on their phone or something, you know?
Right.
So you are saving the paper, you are getting more convenient, and it gets better. With IT, now that coding is now where you make softwares to automate these processes, and you can take it a notch further. Instead of the customer coming to the hotel, why doesn't the hotel deliver the food to the customer's house? So you find that that is where now we're going with Bolt food and this other Uber foods and all that. So IT is basically enhancement of manual processes to digital.
Okay, for example, you've talked about hotels, how it gets rid of you having a manual paper for a bill into having an automated system. In a circumstance of a school, how has IT transformed the normal working of a school institutions? How has it helped to make life in school easier?
So IT, what I can say is IT has helped to the point of it will soon begin to get even more personal to you. You can find something like exams, for example, booking of exams. We no longer have lines in exam room for people to come and book exams. They can now book online on the forms and all that, and then we can be able to see and actualize on who has booked. So that has automatically eliminated the lines, because the lines, when you go to the line, like for example the exam office, you'll be sorted one by one, right? But now when you digitize the process, all of you can apply at the same time. So if all of you log in, 1,000 people can apply for the exam simultaneously, and we will have all the records in no time. No paper will be wasted. No one will be forced to start reading the paper and start finding, search and sort. You have a heap of paper, you need to find student number 82591. So you find that IT has greatly achieved the process of convenience for a customer and for the institution and for the students. And on top of that, we are thinking of introducing AI to become part of your guidance counseling. So you find that you no longer, because you find that guidance counseling is something very personal.
Yeah, it's very personal.
A lot of students here do not feel comfortable sharing because they think that maybe they are going to be discussed. So you find that when you introduce AI, people will now introduce, we can say it will become more confidential, because AI has no feelings. AI is not human, and it will be 100% confidentiality guaranteed.
All right, you've talked about booking. Probably you're booking an exam. So every student has to have their own system. Or how does it work?
So you find that we have built a system, and then the student will just get to a computer, go to the form and just fill it. So for example, for the ICM students, I'm sure they have seen that booking of online exams is done online, because they'll just go fill in a Google form or something, and we get the information at the exams office. So that one is more convenient as opposed to having all those papers and trying to read one by one, determining what student so and so has filled here and there. So you don't need to have at the system everyone. You just need to have what is called point of access to the system. So you can either access through a web vector, you can either access the system through an application vector on your phones.
All right. Nibs Technical College is very vast when it comes to technology, because we've seen that in Nibs they use the small student ID cards, whereby if you want to access the institution as a student, you have to swipe at the gate to be allowed to get inside. So what is that card all about? What technology does it use?
That's a very interesting question. I hope you'll understand the answer.
I hope so.
So the card uses a technology called radio frequency ID. So in short, RFID for short. So RFID operates at two frequencies. We have the 44 kilohertz and the 24 megahertz, depending on the size of information that is going to be transmitted between the card and the device. So it depends. The higher the frequency, the more data you can provide. But in this case, we just want your admission numbers. So yours is definitely the kilohertz range. So you find that when you swipe, it will just give us your code. And from the code, let's say you are there, you are swiping, right? People don't know how fast the system works. So you find that when you place the card, the radio frequency has to energize the card. There is a coil in that card with a lot of copper coil windings. So it has to pick the energy through magnetic flux. Then it energizes with enough energy to energize the chip. Then the chip transmits back the code, because you will never find a battery in the card, right? So you find that after it transmits the code to the device transmits the code to the laptop transmits the code to the browser transmits the code to our server, the server transmits the code to our database, the database checks your balance. Then after it checks, yes, it's a very long process. It checks your balance, it sees your balance is okay, so it determines. If it's not okay, it will say access denied. If it's okay, it says welcome. So from there, it will have to send from the database back to we call them web applications. So there is an intermediary between the database and the laptop that's accessing the website. There is a logic process here that will now transmit in between the two. So it will transmit back your balance status and your photo. In we can say in about the way that I have optimized the system, the process occurs in less than 15 milliseconds.
It's not that complicated. Now I understand why I see my picture reflecting and all my balance reflecting when I swipe at the gate. So every card has that code.
Yes.
So a student cannot use another student's ID.
So what we have done is we have two types of cards. We do have the RFID that comes with the code, and we have the RFIDs that can be written to. We have a read-only RFID and a read-write RFID. So read-write RFIDs are RFIDs that you can program. So with this RFID that you can program, a student can take advantage and copy. You see? So what we did here is we implemented the read-only version. So it comes with the code from the manufacturer, and the code can never be changed. So no, a student cannot swipe someone else's. You can't have more than one student having the same code.
So what if I'm a student here at Nibs Technical College?
Yes.
I have my student ID card.
Yes.
It has all my details.
Yes.
Let's say today I'm done with school.
Yes.
I go outside. Does it expire? Can I still come and use it and go through?
Technically, the ID should expire, but we understood that we do have students who are called returning students. You have done your certificate, you have gone out there, and you have seen life as it is, and you would like to advance to diploma. You will not find it expired. So we like to keep it open as long as we can, so that when you come back, we will always know that you are with us.
For how long is it open? For how long does it take?
So for the RFID, for the financials, as per the ICT Act for data protection in the country, data that is financial in nature has to be stored on the server not more than 7 years. But data that is non-financial can be stored more than 15 years. Yes.
Right. Does these cards also help you to monitor attendance? Because, you know, students and attending classes is water and oil.
Yes. So what I can say is your card is working like a sort of a big data soup. So you are swiping there once, but from your swipe pattern, you can be able to draw graphs of your behavior where you are swiping, because there is one at the library, there is one at the gate, there is one at the entrance to the institution, there is one that we are going to put at journalism tomorrow, so that we know the people who are getting into the journalism lab.
Which is very exciting.
Yes, so we can have data points, and we can be able to draw patterns of how often you read at the library and how often you attend your classes. Are you ever seen at school? We will just know, well, this week were you there? And if you are not there, I'm sure for some of you, you have noticed that your parents usually receive an SMS that so-and-so has not been seen for more than 2 weeks. And then now we begin worrying about you. So it's again a matter of convenience.
Wow, what a nice discussion at Tech Show today. We have Mr. Alan, he's an IT manager at Nibs Technical College. And of course, we're talking about smart cards, those small cards that students use to access the institution here at Nibs Technical College. And it helps to monitor attendance, so I know that is not friendly to the ears of the students. But I want us to talk about how difficult it is to give way for these systems in an institution. So when we come back, we're going to be talking about how an institution can incorporate IT. We'll be right back. Stay with us. There is something quite remarkable about Luron nail polish. Our meticulously curated collection helps you express your individuality. You can tell from the moment it touches your nail. The courage, the control, the color captured inside the deep gloss is essentially achievable, and it is unmatchable. Of course, the colors are beautiful. Of course, they last. Divine colors, setting the standards for elegance and style. Luron nail polish. Your nails, your canvas.
For a strong and lasting energy effect, lively and energetic feeling and increasing energy level, Predator Energy Drink has a highlighting flavor, which implies a renewal of energy for those working around the clock. Form at your best and have a quick energy jumpstart that will work effectively. Conquer the day with Predator Energy Drink from any retail or wholesale shop around you at an affordable price. Predator Energy Drink. Stay charged, stay winning. 400 ml for a bottle and 300 ml for a can. Predator Energy Drink. Stay charged, stay winning.
Welcome back to the show. We are still talking about ICT, or rather IT, and of course our conversation is all about matters technology. And before we go back to our conversation earlier, I want us to read some of the comments that you've sent, and I want to read from X. Wangari Njuguna says Nicolocked from Ndakaini. Is that Ndakaini? Okay. Jimmy Migui anasema nice topic. I'm an ICT student at Nibs Technical College. That is nice. And Muriuki, I love the show. And of course we have Mpesh Mugweru from Nyandarua saying Niko locked nikiwa Nyandarua. Please tuma waru huko Nairobi. And of course let's go back to our discussion, Mr. Alan. I want us to talk about, you mentioned that in these systems there is our personal data. I want us to talk about cybercrime. Tunasikianga information yangu imehakiwa, ama information ya a certain organization imehakiwa. For example, Kabarak University walikuwa wamehakiwa Facebook account yao. I want us to talk about cyber security and those cyber crimes. Please make us understand what cyber security is and what cyber crime is.
So, cyber security, the term, is a chimera of two words. There is cyber and there is security. Cyber refers to what is the collective sphere of technology, and security, of course, everyone knows security. So you can say cyber, it's a security for the IT world, the profession. So you find that it's very vast. Cyber security changes every second. That's the problem. And for you to be able to protect your data from attacks, you also need to be very sharp. So you find that when you try and do it manually, you will not succeed, because a lot of these attackers have come to have very advanced tools. You have heard of the emergence of AI. So you find that for example, you'll be able to see an attack, someone hacking you, but he or she will not be human. It will be a robot. Yes. They are, like, if I can give you an example, as we are sitting right here, we have gotten 10 attack attempts on all our websites, all our systems, anything that is online.
So you must be on pause
Yes.
all the time.
Yeah. So what you do with cyber security is you automate your protection. You cannot do it manually. So here at Nibs, what I've done is I have put a very powerful firewall. So a firewall is something that sits in between the outside world and your data. Yes. So there is, like, for example, there's the Nibs website, right? But little do you know that there is a transparent layer between the website and you that you will never see, which monitors all your actions. So let's say if you are accessing the site from the browser, it will accept you. But if you try and access the site as a robot, like, it will know the pattern, it will automatically block you. If you try to brute force the site, it will block you. If you access the site as a human, it will accept you. So the firewall, and then you find that in the firewall you create what is called CVE signatures. They usually update every night because every day a new loophole has been discovered in a particular application or something, and someone is already using the loophole to attack people worldwide. So you find that in the world we have all these robots that are constantly scanning the web for loopholes, and when they find one, they will attack you. And that's what happened with Kabarak, for example, because you find that these robots, at the end of the day, they work for someone. So in this case, the robot was able to not just find a loop. The robot was able to. I used to be a former student at Kabarak, so I have first-hand data. So the robot was able to implant a Trojan horse to the customer service executive at Kabarak University. And the Trojan horse recorded all the customer service keystrokes on the keyboard. And it was sending to a centralized database somewhere in Romania. Yes. Yeah, that's the beauty of IT. You can send data across the globe in milliseconds. Milliseconds is even big, micro. So you find that these Romanian guys then categorize the data as either logins, because she will type many things, Word documents, what, right? But now you categorize the data as if the data is a username, password kind of data, if it's a Word document data, and from there, they can start selling the data to highest bidders on the dark web. So unfortunately, the sale was accepted by one of imagine you saw the guy, the Asian guy. So he bought he's not the attacker, he's just someone who purchased the access. And this is what happens to a lot of systems. This is just social media. This is the same thing that happens to your credit cards. This same thing that happens to your personal data. So if the IT manager or the IT administrator of a particular system is not careful and is not alert, it can be a catastrophic event, because a social media leak is the least of your worries. If something leaks that will be able to transfer, let's say, money from Nibs College to Romania, that's the end of Nibs. So we need to be vigilant on this issue.
So that can also be characterized as hacking.
Yes, hacking is an archaic term. Yes, so you call it hacking. Some other people call it pen testing.
It is more difficult.
And others call it vulnerability assessment. So at the end of the day, it depends with, can we say, your intention in the action. For our vulnerability assessment, it's hacking as you have been hired by the organization that you are hacking, so that they verify if it's possible and how you did it so that they can seal the loop.
I understand.
Pen testing is the same as vulnerability assessment, but it occurs on a regular basis. And then now hacking is now when now you do unauthorized. Now it becomes an unauthorized action. Yes. So you find that there are these white hackers or black hackers. So the white hacker will hack and then tell you, guys, we have hacked you, this is your data. You need to hire us to fix your. So those are the good ones. They come and offer a fix for you. Then the black hackers, they will just hack you and leave you crying in the river somewhere as they have gone with all the data.
Right.
Yes.
Then that is, now I've understood there is the white hacking and the black hacking.
White hat and black hat. Yes.
White hat.
White hat. White hat hacker.
Nakwambia leo tunajifunza vitu mingi sana. So for an institution as big as a bank or as big as a university, what would it take for them to install like IT systems? What are the challenges of installing and maintaining that kind of a system, whether it's a bank or a hotel or just an organization?
So fortunately, I also have experience in banks. I am the one who created one of the data centers for one of the top 3 banks in the country, and also implemented all their ICT policies and procedures and all their cyber security protection. So what I can say, it depends with the industry. Like for that bank, we had to put 3 firewalls to be safe. Here at Nibs, we have only put 1. You see? So you find that you can either, depending on the security of the data, you can have multiple layers of firewalls. You can have multiple layers of access controls to your data. You can have multiple layers of authentication mechanisms and cryptography just to protect someone's data, the encryption and all of you. So you find that for like a bank, the infrastructure is very expensive in the long run because you have to purchase 3 to 4 firewalls, different manufacturers. They don't need to be the same. So we had Checkpoint, then we had Cisco Firepower, then we had Cisco ASA, then we had another Checkpoint, and then we had Sophos Firewall. And then now you get to the internet banking web application. Yes, so and each was checking a specialized kind of attack. There are things that are called scene scans. So you find that before an attack happens, there is a step that an attacker takes that is called reconnaissance. So that one is like checking to see where to begin, and then now you begin the attack, because they can't just attack. They have first of all to scan you and see your weaknesses. Yes. So you prevent. It's attacking is more of a cyber security is a prevention more than a cure kind of approach, because it is too catastrophic to react. So you need to be proactive. So you prevent the scene scan before an attack vector is identified. So yeah, so for Nibs College, it's cheaper. It's cheaper to implement this because you don't need sophisticated. And then you find that when you create such things to normal users, it looks like inconvenience, because they have to put all these passwords everywhere. You've seen our internet, Like for example, when you want to access the internet for our staff, you need a username, password, and everyone who accesses that, we have a log for them. We can know where they went, what they did. That is now
the organization.
Yes. So we can know someone who also is planning to attack us from the inside. So we can be able to mitigate such. Yes.
So the infrastructure is cost, but it is definitely worth it, because you're going to, in the long run, you're saving yourself from being attacked.
Yes.
All right. For common Mwananchi, we get hacked. Our Facebook accounts get hacked. how can we manage them to prevent? Juu sasa mimi jamani sitaweza kunini hizo systems za prevent hacking. So for a normal common mwananchi, what are those things that I can do to prevent hackers from attacking me?
So you find that for a common mwananchi, you'll be told that your Facebook is hacked. But from experience, Facebook is never hacked.
Never hacked.
No.
But we have those groups where they tell you, if you want to recover your account, please send this money.
No. What happens is an attacker found what is called an attack vector to get your credential.
An
so
attack vector?
Yes.
What is that?
So an attack vector is a means to get access.
Alright.
So they can either get access by what is called phishing. You must have just pressed a link somewhere, and then it took you, and then it took you to Facebook page, but you never read on the top left corner and seen that it's not Facebook. So you typed your username and password there, and then when you press enter, it redirected you to Facebook. That's how it captures your username and password. The other attack vector is your phone. Your phone is second hand. And perhaps it has been blocked by Safaricom. So what do? You go and root the phone and change the serial number. So you find that when you do that, you have compromised the security of your phone, because a rooted phone can be installed programs that cannot be detected. Because rooting, in this world, people are not that good. Don't expect that rooting of a device, someone somewhere in Russia just thought that he will give back to the world a rootkit to root a phone for free. There is a catch. So you will find that this phone, everything you are typing here, it is sending the information back in Norway. I'm saying Romania because Romania is the center capital of hacking. So you will find that the phone constantly sends your data somewhere. That's why they are encouraging you to root your phone so that they can get data from you. And the moment now you use your phone to do what is called online purchasing, where you put your credit card and everything, you find that you are in maybe a week, your account is empty. And you start saying, oh, equity was attacked, but it's not equity. You need to look at what you use to access what has been hacked. That's how they hack you. Yes.
But for some public figures who have been hacked before, they then recover their accounts. How is that procedure? How can you recover those accounts?
So you find that this is the main reason why we do have this verification on social media. So you find that you have to Twitter asks you to verify your account.
The verification code.
Not code, the tick, the blue tick, you see. Because if they have verified you, it means they have verified your phone number and your email. So in case your account is hacked, you have either of those two vectors to recover. And if you can be able to prove you own one of the two, they will give your account back. So you just contact support, then you prove that you are the owner of the email that was used to verify the account, and then from there, they will just send you like the password. So you find that these big dignitaries, all their social media platforms are verified so that they can never lose it. Yes.
Have there been any ethical consideration when it comes to IT? Because you are dealing with matters you're holding someone's private information. Are there ethical considerations whereby the IT managers are guided by some ethics?
Yes, you don't just store data. For there to be a department, there has to be a policy. So we do have policies on data storage, we do have policies on system architectures, we do have policies and procedures on handling of data, we do have policies and procedures on student applying for swipe cards. That's why you find it cumbersome, but it's policy, so that we can prove it's you. And so that we cannot turn it into a business and start selling to any Tom, Dick and Harry out there. Because the policy is what guides us. So we do have policy internal, and we also do have the Data Protection Act as guided by the Kenyan law.
Right, that is a very insightful, and I know we cannot seize everything today. Thank you so much for coming. And I know someone who is watching may want to be an IT manager, or someone is in school. What kind of an advice can you give someone who is aspiring to be an IT personnel just like you? What kind of advice would you give them?
If you are aspiring to become an IT personnel like me, you are in the right field. If you are not aspiring to become an IT personnel, you will have a very difficult future, because you find that as we sit here right now, last week, OpenGPT released artificial intelligence called Sora. You see? So you find that IT is the future. As we speak right now, Norway's transportation system is 80% electric. You see? And electric vehicles are basically just computers on wheels. And then you find that they have created these roads that charge your car as you go along. So you find that IT is the future. If you are not into IT, you better get on the bandwagon, or else you will be left behind in the dust. Because right now as we speak, AI can do... I'm talking about AI mostly because it has shocked us. You know, what AI is currently doing is not what we expected for another 100 years. Because when you go and Google OpenGPT Sora, S-O-R-A, you will see that it can be able to create movies with words. You just tell it, I need to see myself flying, and it will put you in the clouds. And it's not cartoon.
That is fast.
Vivid. And you know, for it to do that, it has to understand laws of thermodynamics. It has to understand physics. It has to understand that if you bump into this leaf, it will move this number of centimeters before it comes back. So you find that it does all this in real time. So AI right now has literally taken over the world, and AI right now is the world. So if you are not in IT, that means you will not be in AI, and that means you will be left behind, because in about 10 years to come, nothing will exist without IT.
Right. Thank you very much for coming to our show today. We really don't take it for granted. And like Mr. Alan has said, the IT is the future. Please be sure to check out what he has advised us to. ChatGPT, Sora, please check out also to other emerging trends of technology, because technology is advancing at a high rate, including the artificial intelligence that we've talked about. We've come to the end of our show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your questions. If I've not read your comment, there's always a next time. This show is Tech Show, and it happens every Thursday of the week from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. I am your host, Wanja. Do enjoy the rest of your afternoon.